Tuesday, September 11th, 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Quick update, guys, on Hurricane Florence. We'll do a live stream later on this morning with more specifics. Something I wanted to point out that I noticed, and it's been commented on in a few videos that I've done. We're here at the National Hurricane Center, and first let's take a look at the track. Still pretty much steady as she goes towards North Carolina, South Carolina. It could shift left or right a little bit before it makes landfall, as most storms do. Right now they're still showing a major hurricane making landfall. It looks like now early Friday morning, possibly during the overnight hours. Here's a look at the hurricane as it is getting larger, as it's moving to the west, slightly northwest, at about 15 miles per hour, headed right towards the North and South Carolina area. But something I want to point out real quick, as it's moving through this body of water right here, these are the sea surface temperatures. Those reds are the warmest water, with the exception of this burgundy you see down here. Those are in the upper 80-degree territory. So it's moving into those warm waters right now. So don't be surprised if this thing does strengthen a little bit before it makes landfall. It wouldn't surprise me at all. The last set of numerical values that came from the Hurricane Hunter showed this thing at 130 mile an hour sustained, moving west, slightly northwest at 15 miles per hour. But here's something I want to show you guys I've noticed and has been pointed out by many of you in the comments of the videos that we've done regarding Hurricane Florence. And that's these red icons you see here on the map. These are the locations of nuclear power plants that will be pretty much in the direct line of this hurricane. And there's more than just these. These are just a few that I pointed out. There's several in the area, but these are the ones that were, in my humble opinion, more likely to see possible flooding. And if that's the case, then obviously they would have to shut these things down, or they have safety measures that would do that automatically, and that would mean power outage from the power plant shutting down. I don't know how these things are configured for these types of situations, but if you look at them, like all nuclear power plants, they all sit next to bodies of water. And one in particular sits downstream or upstream from a dam. And we could see dams being stressed in these areas as these tributaries and rivers start to manage all of this copious rainfall. And we're talking large amounts of rainfall. In some areas over 20, 24 inches. This thing's going to linger around, and we'll talk about that in another video. But I wanted to mention the presence of all of these nuclear power plants going up into Virginia, right along the coast, where they could see inland flooding and storm surge. Inland flooding and storm surge here that will more than likely, I would say, affect this power plant. Not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see how all this unfolds. But all of these sit near bodies of water. And if you look at the visible loop, there it is, becoming more and more looking like a textbook hurricane that we've seen in the past. But this is a website that's called the Union of Concerned Scientists .inc or inc.com. Flood risk at nuclear power plants. Nuclear reactors are located near bodies of water, introducing unique flood-related risks. It goes on to talk about one in South Carolina that is upstream from a dam. And that dam, they say, needed some work, and this was a few years ago. And the one that they're referring to is in South Carolina, which is way over here, which could see a lot of flooding. This entire area could see, like I said, large amounts of rain. But this sits right here, downstream from a dam that they mention in this article. So it goes on to say that while tsunamis are not a significant risk for most U.S. nuclear power plants, there are other natural weather events that can lead to flooding. Heavy rain or snow can cause rivers to overflow. Tropical storms or nor'easters can cause storm surges that threaten coastal plants. Floods from such natural weather events have caused problems at several U.S. nuclear reactors. in recent years. In June 2011, unusually high water on the Missouri River caused by a combination of heavy spring rains and Rocky Mountain snowmelt inundated Fort Calhoun Power Plant in Nebraska. October of 2012, flooding from Hurricane Sandy caused two New Jersey nuclear plants, Salem and Oyster Creek, to shut down when high water levels threatened their water intake and circulation system. And it talks about floods caused by dam failures, and it mentions the one in South Carolina, the Jocassee Dam on the Oconee Nuclear Station in South Carolina, which is a few miles upstream from that dam. And flooding can affect these nuclear power plants. Talks about this one here in North Carolina. McGuire has 2 units. Nuclear power plants at increased flood risk from dam failure. And this one, where's it at? McGuire's got 2 units. McGuire is, I want to say here. Might be right there. It's got 2 units. But all of these sit on or near bodies of water. And if you're looking at potentially record storm surge, record inland flooding, and you have all these nuclear power plants sitting in the middle of all of this record flooding, don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. But it's something worth noting. There are many nuclear power plants sitting in the path of Hurricane Florence. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll do a live stream later on this morning with more specifics as we get new information from the hurricane hunters. Have a super day. Be safe out there.